Hey guys, James here from 5-Star Rating 22. Alright, here's the last part for the Terminator video series. Hope you guys enjoy it. I had a great time making this, so let's go ahead and get stuck into this now. Let's see, we're at the part here where I took Blazing Orange from Games Workshop. The only reason I'm using a Games Workshop paint here is because I was out of my yellow, and the only place that I went to that had all the paints they had was Games Workshop, so I just picked one up. And I mixed it again with thinner, as you've seen there. And I'm just drawing a thin line to the bottom of the lenses here, and then just a thin line on the sensing lenses at the top right part of them as well. So, and then just some more highlights to the purity seals and the bottom of those buttons too. And then what I'm taking here is dead white from the yellow game color and just adding a dot to the top of both lenses and then a dot to both of the retinals as well. Kind of messed up on the one, but it wasn't too bad, so I didn't redo it. It was a little bit sloppy. Try to keep them a little bit smaller. I usually do. And as you can see there, so those are put on now, and that just helps kind of give a reflection. And as like I said, that one retinal was a little bit bigger, but it wasn't horrible, so I left it. Then what I'm taking here is this is Battle Black wash from Games Workshop, and I'm going to add it to all the metal parts on the weapon, and then the connecting parts where the metal connects to the ghost gray plating as well, to add some definition to the metal and some shading, shadowing, shading and shadowing to the gun casing as well. So as you can see there. Now what I'm taking is Silver and Glorious Gold, both from Vallejo. I'm sorry, I said it right there, Overlord. And you get kind of a yellow tinted silver, really light color, and that's going to be the final highlight to the brass parts on my model here, as you can see. And again, doing a thinner line than the previous highlight, so it's inside the previous highlight. It's thinner, it's a little bit brighter, but I added it to all the upper parts on the brass to give it some more definition. Any parts I think that would kind of be hit as if the sun was shining from the top, like I do with most of my highlighting. And then to the back box here as well, and then even the skull on the top of the banner pole here, as you can see. So you can see there, you can kind of see the highlights, just a thin line, and it just helps bring them out a little bit more, make them pop. Make them pop. That's my main goal, make everything pop. Alright, now to probably the most important part, the hard line highlighting, the last highlights to the armor plating. If I had to choose things to cut out to save time on painting my models, this would be the very last thing I would take away. I think this is what makes or breaks a Space Marine army that has black or power armor. It's really the line highlights. It's something that took me a lot of practice to get it down, but once I got it down, I started to notice that this is pretty much like the most important part of the Marine. It's really 80% of the figure is his power armor, and when you're doing the black armor, this kind of makes or breaks the look of it. I mean, I went through a lot of practice just making them look horrible in the beginning. So I shot a little bit more of what I'm doing here. And again, I do my highlights kind of as if they're coming from above in kind of a halo light type shading here. And what I found out is I try to make mine, you want to have them all the same width is kind of the goal with the light or the line highlighting. And it's just pretty much as thin as possible, and I'm using Stonewall Gray. That's the gray that I'm using for this second highlight to the armor. The first highlight again was that dry brushing, and I'm doing it to the bottom of the legs here because they kind of stick out from the model, so I think they'd be hit. And again, use the side of the brush whenever you can. You'll get a more consistent line width, but sometimes you can't do that, and you just gotta steady your hands. So you can see there I got all those line highlights on, and that really brings out the armor. I think that's what makes, when I like black power armor, I really do, and that was why I seen a really good line highlighted one, and that's what got me into it. Now I'm taking Art Coat. This is just a gloss varnish from Games Workshop, and again I would use Vallejo, but the store I went to didn't have it, and I was out of my Vallejo gloss varnish because I haven't actually been using it for a while. But what I do is I just add it to the lenses, and then the sensory lenses up on the shoulder as well, and that just makes them look kind of glassy. It helps add the effect that they're lenses, that they're a glass lens. And you can use, there's lots of gloss varnishes out there. I just had grabbed that one because I didn't have any of my Vallejo, and I need some. Now I'm taking Beastie Brown. I just did a first base coat to the base. I didn't even do a second coat. Just just one. And then what I'm doing here is I'm going to start adding the basing now. And I use Gale Force 9 basing flock, and then I'm taking a wood chip as well. And then regular old Elmer's glue and an old brush, and I just painted it on. You can see there I cut that wood chip in half and stuck it in, standing straight up. I wanted it to kind of be like a sandstone look. So, and then what I'm doing here, I added some of the bigger rocks from Gale Force 9. Off camera, obviously. Again, yeah, this was drinking. I know I was here, and this is how lazy I am when I drink. Normally, I would take it off the pot, and just dunk it in to shift around and make sure I get on there nice and tight. But apparently, I was too lazy because I was drinking, so I didn't. So I just kind of sprinkled it on there. But hey, it worked. Yeah. Gale Force 9. They have good flock. Their stuff's good. I like it. And then I took here and kind of like pulled it off the shoes, because otherwise I think it looks kind of goofy if it's piled up too high. Looks like they're sinking in more. I don't really like that look. So now what I'm taking, I let the flock dry. I took my script brush that I had talked about before, and then I'm taking Ghost Gray from Vallejo as well, and I thinned that out a bit, and I'm going to add some more script to the armor here on the bottom right leg plate. You can see here, and I'm just adding this some more since this is going to be one of my banner carriers. Probably one of the only, maybe 2 or 3 that I have in my entire army eventually. So I wanted to, kind of make him stick out more with some more writing. It's not a huge thing since he's, still just a Terminator, but I wanted to add some more, so I added some to the right leg armor, and then some to the butt flap here, along with one of my little Roman numeral 10s at the bottom of that script work here. And what I'm doing here, I'm using a decal. Now, I hardly ever use decals, as you can see there. It's the only sheet that has any taken off of it, and I just don't, but I figured I'd do this here to show you guys how I've used them before. So I got my tweezers. I'm just going to hold it with my left hand in some water for about 30 seconds. Then I'm taking just thinner with my right hand. This is just plain thinner. And I'm taking a older brush, and I'm just wetting the surface that I'm going to stick my transfer to with the thinner. Now this helps take away the friction. It helps so you don't get bubbles under your decal, and it helps it set nicer if you don't have, like, I'd use a decal setter if you have it. I think it's Deco Set or something like that. But I don't have it because I never hardly use decals. So I just took it, straightened it out, and then I took a dry brush and just soaked up the leftover thinner there to get it and make sure that it was all nice and set down nice. And then what I'm going to do here is take the metallic color underneath, thin it down real nice, and just to kind of help offset it. It's not so bad because it's on a metallic, so it already has kind of a sheen to it, so you don't really see the reflection of the decal. But I still took around the edge here and just painted just a really thin coat of the brass. I did 2 coats just around the edge to help set it in and take away that, so it doesn't have a sharp edge from the decal. It seems to help. And then what I'm doing here is I'm using Devlin Mud from Games Workshop, and this is why I have so much freaking washes, especially Devlin Mud and Bad Up Black. I'm adding it here to the whole base, and I made sure I had the X's tapped off, but I added it to the whole base for my shadowing, so just nice, it soaks it up quick. And then for my highlights, I'm going to use Beastie Brown, Leather Brown, Bone White, and Dead White from Vallejo Game Color. And these, what I'll do is it's 5 dry brush coats, and I'm using my old Games Workshop dry brush that I've had forever. You can see the wash is dry there now, pretty much. So what I'm going to do is I take, for the first coat, this is, now, for the first 3 highlights, it's not really a dry brush, it's more of an overbrush. And this is Beastie Brown here, pure Beastie Brown. And I'm pretty much overbrushing just the whole area, just to get the first coat in. And you can see there, yep, brush is pretty wet, so I went ahead and overbrushed the whole area. Then I'm taking Leather Brown, and pretty much this is an overbrush again, just a little less paint, right over the top, over the whole thing again. And then the next highlight I'm going to do is Leather Brown mixed with Bone White, a 1-to-1 mix, or a 1-to-1, and as you can kind of seen there. So that was the 3rd highlight, and that was still kind of an overbrush. And then for the 4th highlight, I used pure Bone White from Vallejo, and that's where I start to dry brush. The bone white's the first dry brush, and I dry brush that over the whole thing. And then the last highlight I use is bone white mixed with the dead white 1-to-1, and that's dry brushed over the whole thing as well. And then I had gotten, some of the dirt onto the skull, so I went ahead and brought that back to the skull color I wanted it. And now when you're doing the dry brushing, like, I don't really worry about if it hits the bottom of the feet and the armor and stuff like that, because it adds the effect that, they're trudging through this terrain, and so it looks like it. But if you get a little bit more, especially with black armor, it's pretty easy. I just take and, like, I'll dry brush some black over the spot where I think I got a little bit too much of the ground dry brushing onto it, and it just tones it down a bit. Now here are just some banners. These are just ones I made up real quick. I didn't show how I made these because I'm going to do a separate quick tip kind of video on these. They're really simple, and I didn't show these because these are not going to be permanent on the model. I made these just so I have something on there until I get a permanent banner. To be honest with you guys, I'm really slow when it comes to, like, freehanding stuff or drawing stuff, so it'll probably be a month to 2 months before I have a banner that I actually like that I'm going to keep on this guy. So for right now, these are kind of like fillers, just to, for something visually for now when I have them on the gaming table, and then something for you guys to see as well, kind of what my game plan is, at least for down the road, to have some banners on there. So I just made them up quick. And I will show you guys how I do these. It's a really simple technique. A lot of people use it. Obviously I'm not the only one because I was taught by someone else how to do it this way. And it's pretty simple. Now I just took some Elmer's glue and stuck them to the banner pole here. And there you go. So those are stuck on. So then I just took some Elmer's glue and ran just some different spots. And now when I do my static grass, which is what I'm using here from Gale Force 9, I like pick up a pinch of it and kind of prod at it where the glue is and let the glue kind of just pull the static grass out of my hands. It seems to help make it stand up straight instead of laying down flat as much. So that's what I do. I'm not sure, it seems to make a little bit of a difference. So you can see there, the model's done. I had a great time making it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is, again, for my army. This is my army's color scheme. And I've painted a lot of miniatures this color, but there's a lot of still shots at the end too, so don't worry if you don't see it. I did a lot of still shots, and the reason I did so many is because I'm not very good at doing the still shots yet. If anyone knows of, like, a good video tutorial on making, like, a photo booth, I'd really appreciate if you'd let me know about it. That'd be great. I'd like to make one of those to help with when I shoot miniatures or terrain pieces and stuff. So while these are going through, I'd like to take this moment to thank a couple people that have really been helpful in getting me going and started. First of all, Les Bursley from Awesome Paint Job. He has been more than... I wouldn't have videos out if it wasn't for Leslie. I'd still be trying to figure out my movie editor. So thank you so much, Les. You're a great inspiration, great painter. If for some reason you're watching my videos and you don't know about Les from Awesome Paint Job, go to awesomepaintjob.com or Awesome Paint Job through YouTube here and watch his videos. Excellent painter, excellent guy, great guy. I can't thank him enough. Terrain Noob has been more than helpful to me as well. Great. I mean, he's just really inspirational. Always willing to help. And he gets involved with everything. He's just willing to grow the community so much. There's a lot of other ones I'd like to mention. I'm going to mention them later on. But for now, I'd like to mention... let's see, Gun Barrel has been more than helpful. Van Hammer, great guy. Asjara, guys. He is new to the community, doesn't have a lot of videos, but he's an excellent guy, and I'm really excited to see all the videos he makes. He's so intelligent, really inspirational. So go over. He doesn't really have that many subscribers. If you don't know about Asjara, go check out his channel. He's such a great guy, and let's keep him going so he stays in the community here, guys. I'd really hate to see him go just because he's not getting enough subscribers. So go check out Asjara. Some other ones, the girl painting, she's been really helpful to me as well too, and she's got excellent videos. Really great artist. Let's see, Terrainaholic, he's a great terrain maker. He's always coming up with clever ideas. He's got so many videos. Obviously I haven't had a chance to go through all of them, but they're great. A new one that I just learned about, believe it or not, is the Camlupian. Steve, wow, what a great guy. It's like going back in time for me. He says... the videos I've seen so far, he talks about a lot of things about how I was first taught how to build terrain, which is really cool for me. But I'm going to talk about more later. I wish I had more time. If I didn't mention you now, don't worry. If you have been helping me, I will mention you later. Thanks again for watching, guys. Happy holidays. Keep gaming, and let your friends know. Later.